Gee. Hey there. Hello guys, and welcome to a rather improvised little video. In this one we're going to build little improvised fans against the summer heat. And here's the story. My landlord, a good guy in his 70s, he's at the hospital right now. He has a weak heart and needs surgery. He will get a pacemaker. But at the same time, this also happens to be one of the hottest weeks in living memory here in Germany. And we're having 37 degrees Celsius at the moment here in the Cologne area. That's around 99 degrees Fahrenheit. And for a country that is considered sometimes a northern European country, that is rather hot. And I just looked that up. It's 39 degrees this afternoon in Tucson, Arizona, or to be expected 39 degrees Celsius. So that is kind of crazy. And the son of the landlord just knocked on my door and he said, "Dude, you have all these gadgets. Don't you have a little fan that we can place next to his hospital bed?" Because they are sold out everywhere. We just can't find something that would fit the small space available. So let's just build a fan then from old parts. So I'm sure that many of you have reused salvage fans or blowers of some sort before, when it was a particularly hot day and you didn't have air conditioning or a proper fan at hand. And so have I. Over the last days I used this improvised contraption here to cool down a little. It's a tangential fan salvaged from a copy machine, held by an adjustable vise and powered by an old laptop charger. But for today's build we need something more rugged that won't fall apart so easily. It also must be safely usable for someone who's not a tinkerer himself. So here I have a loose collection of various radial fans that I have salvaged from different devices over the years. But most of them are too small for what I have in mind, and I also want to have two fans of the same size. So where can you get some more? Well, one source, for example, can be older computer power supplies like these two here. If they still work, there might be better uses for them, but these ones here are broken. And at one time I bought a whole stash of broken PSUs from a computer repair shop, and I literally got them for a few cents each. So let's check the power rating then. This one's rated for 380 milliamps on a 12-volt line, while assuming that another fan of this size would also have the same rated current, we'd need a power supply rated for at least 800 milliamps or thereabouts, and better yet a little more than that. So I've sifted through another loose connection of parts here, and this one's rated for 2 amps. Maybe we better keep it for another job that might require a little more power. This one here is rated for 1.5 amps, but it's one of those power supplies that has the enclosure in the middle of the cable, which is not practical for this application. This AC adapter here is rated for 1.25 amps. I think that should do it. And I proceed by cutting off the old plug. But I think it'd be better if the power cord would be a little longer, so I pick another piece of similar wire and I remove the insulation at the ends. Small pieces of heat shrink are added, and another large one as well. The smaller pieces will insulate the conductor, and the outer piece will make the connection a little bit stiffer and should make it less likely that the wire will break here when bent. Now I'm determining the polarity and mark the plus pole with a piece of red tape. Now let's prepare the fans. The red wire is plus 12 volts, black is ground, and the blue wire is the tacho output that can be used to measure the rotational speed of the fan. But we don't need that here, so we remove the blue wire under this label here. Now let's connect the fans temporarily to the AC adapter. And they both work just fine. This little test will also help you to find out about the direction of the airflow in case you're not sure about it. Okay, so now we have the bare minimum, working fans and a power supply, but that's not good enough. The fans easily fall over and can neither be directed without slipping away nor tilted to point up or down, and that's why we need a base. And for that purpose I will use this stand here from an older Sony LCD monitor. Remember 2 years ago when I built a digital video projector from an overhead projector. Well, back then I used a 15-inch LCD monitor for that, and this stand was a leftover of that project. I always kept it because it seemed very well designed to me. But in order to connect the fans to the stand, I will have to make a connector part, and I'll make that from a standard aluminium angle piece, as you can buy it in home improvement stores everywhere. I always have a variety of these on my shelves. They are not expensive, but extremely useful. And I place the fans on the piece and roughly mark the outer edge and the center of our part. And please note that I normally take much more precise measurements, but this is a project that needs to be finished ASAP. The parts are turned around and I mark the outlines of the propeller radius onto the piece. I also use a screwdriver to mark the spots where the holes need to be drilled. Again, this is not rocket science, it just has to hold and get done quickly. I also mark the center and hold the base onto it, marking the spots where more holes will be drilled. I quickly punch mark the piece and swiftly proceed to the drill press. I manually clean the holes with a big drill bit. Now I try to determine how exactly I will shape this piece, and I decide to just make a straight cut just a few millimeters from the holes. And now this part is separated from the angle piece. A few swift strokes with a file must be enough to round the corners, so that you don't cut yourself on them. And now comes the moment of truth. Let's see if it all fits. I take the fan guards and bolt them directly onto the fan using those self-taping screws that come with these computer fans. And I'm lucky. The base is then also bolted to the connector piece using M4 bolts, another thing that is also kinda cheap, but that every tinkerer should just have on the shelves in ample supply. You could never have enough nuts, bolts and washers of all shapes, forms and sizes. But you could still hurt yourself by touching the blades from the backside, and that's why I add another set of salvaged fan guards on this side as well. The wires of the fans are then soldered in parallel and heat shrink is applied once more. But wouldn't it be practical to add a switch here?
Well, I don't know about you, boy, but I don't got no money coming out of my behind, and in my book that be just pure luxury.
And I use this remaining hole and a somewhat larger washer to tighten the somewhat sensitive wires in place. But I only put a little bit of tension on that bolt. I later also add a pair of zip ties to the base so that the wires can't be that easily damaged. So here we are, our little fan is doing what it's supposed to do. And I think it also looks pretty cool. Now I know that this was a rather trivial project compared to my usual builds, but maybe you find this useful in this hot summer. And I also think that it would be nice to make more videos again, and one good way to get there would be to give simpler ideas a chance as well. So if you agree, then please give this video a like. So what's coming up in the future then? Well, first of all, I had this idea that I want to try again to upload videos weekly if possible, so the updates are probably coming back, the video updates on YouTube. And one of the things, for example, that we could talk about is my cargo bike experiences that I made here in Cologne. I've been renting these electric cargo bikes here a couple of times now. They have an electric motor and a battery pack. And I drove this one here for over 60 kilometers. And well, I also took it to the shop and took a closer look at it. And I'll probably cover that very soon in a little video. And then let's just hope that the weather will get a little colder again, and then I can focus again on the computer science fiction design project and so on. But other than that, as always, I hope that you liked this. And if you want to help me make more videos, then think about becoming a patron and visit patreon.com/TPII. See you soon, guys, and keep cool.
Keep cool, keep cool. Is that your new catchphrase now? I can find that kind of ridiculous. Now what the boy is trying to say is that you should send some of that sweet cash. That's what he's talking about, some of them sweet US dollars. That's not true. I would take euros as well. Yeah, boy, I believe you that. You'd take any kind of money. But what I'm talking about is that stupid catchphrase. Now, why have all them stupid YouTube with all them stupid catchphrases?